Hello and welcome to ET Garage. Today we're in the kitchen cooking cylinder heads. All right, like I was saying, we're in my kitchen and my new cylinder heads are in. If you're wondering what cylinder heads I got, in case you haven't guessed already, Trick Flow. And we'll go into a little bit more detail. But they just arrived a little while ago. In fact, they're still nice and cold. They seem like really good quality. We're going to get a closer up look and look them over and go over which ones I got, which are Super 23 195 cylinder heads, 64 cc CNC combustion chambers. Now, my old heads that I was running, I had opened up to 62 cc's, and I'll try and leave a link somewhere up here to everything I've been doing and to the flow numbers on those cylinder heads. And we'll go into more detail on these and why I got them. First reason I got them was availability. For instance, I was really interested in the Brodix Race-Rite heads, and I'll go over the reason why I wanted to choose them or these in a little bit. But those, if I ordered them now, I probably wouldn't get them to April or May or something, because it's just that backlogged, and Brodix is. So far, looking these over, I have to say I'm really happy with the quality. They come with detailed instructions, like I said, and they also come with list of any additional parts that you could use or want to use, and like rocker arms and all that stuff. They do come with guide plates and the rocker arm studs. Hardened guide plates and rocker arm studs. I'll get into more of that here in a bit. And these heads, like compared to my stock 113 heads, this one right here, are about 6 pounds heavier each. So it's going to add about 12 more pounds to the front of my car. And so that's something to consider, but that's actually a good thing, because these heads have thicker decks. The original factory L98 113 heads, 113 casting heads, are real lightweight casting. They served me well, but I think it was time to upgrade all the different things I've done to this motor over the years. I think it's a good upgrade. I felt it was budget friendly. They are more expensive than the budget AFR heads, but there's reasons I went with these rather than the AFRs, and I don't know. But we can sit here and argue all day, but let me move the camera around a little bit more and we'll try and go over some difference from the stock 113 heads and the reason I got these and all that stuff. So let me move the camera around a little bit. All right, I'm going to go over the reasons why I got these heads, and this is going to sound strange maybe to some people, but one of the reasons is center bolt. These are designed for center bolt valve covers, and I like my factory OEM magnesium valve covers that came on my 90 Corvette, and those are the ones I want to use. Hopefully I won't have any clearance issues with the rocker arms. I didn't on the factory heads, hopefully not on these, and if I do, I might have to get a spacer, but that'd be about it. Another reason is these are angle plug. It has all the accessory holes drilled on the ends. 3 on this end, I notice, and then on the other end, 5 holes. Stock ones only have 3, so I only need the 3, so it doesn't matter if, I mean, it's nice to have the extra holes in case you need them, but what can I say? Another thing I like about these heads, they are D-port, just like the factory heads, the 113 castings are D-port exhaust. Let's compare them, in fact. Yeah, you can see how much, you should be able to see how much difference in size they are. But the factory 113s are D-ports, and these are D-ports. If anyone's curious about the reason for a D-port design, this little lip here, when your header comes around like that, you actually want a lip, and that prevents exhaust reversion back into the cylinder. And especially on cold starts, all sorts of crap will revert back in there into the cylinder and scratch up your cylinder walls. A lot of people don't realize that. That's what I read. That's what I've heard from experts and stuff like that. Also, it has the provision for the temp sensor, which I need for on a 90 Corvette. The temp sensor for the dashboard goes here. And then, of course, the temp sensor for the ECM goes on the front of the intake manifold. So definitely want that. Here it is, the CNC combustion chambers. I could have got these in 62. That would have kept it the same compression as these heads. With these here are 62. So these are just 2 cc more. So that will take me from like 10.33 compression ratio down to like a 10.11. But the difference with the CNC chambers, slightly bigger CNC chambers, is they flow a lot more. Throughout the range, in fact, over the 62 cc trick flows. One thing I don't like is the exhaust crossover. Like the factory 113 heads don't have an exhaust crossover. That's no big deal. You can plug that hole. Some people like to put like JB Weld or epoxy them. Or you can just put the gasket right over it and just make sure you seal it up. And that's probably what I'll do. I could thread that and put like a pipe plug in there or something. You just got to make sure it's flush. The only quality issue, in fact, I have is with these holes. If you look, these holes here on the intake are drilled on an angle on the center ones, where the factory ones are straight. I'm not sure why TrickFlow does that. I guess that's because the different manifold designs that GM has on a small Gen 1 small block. But that's no biggie. They make these little adapters that basically help you offset your bolt, and you may have to elongate the holes on the intake at the most. That's like minor, so that's no big deal. One thing though I did notice is where they threaded it, they didn't deburr it good, so that I just need to chase with a file. If I didn't chase it with a file, the way it's sticking out, well, it wouldn't hurt it at all. Actually, it would just grab the gasket, and the gasket would absorb it, and that would help the gasket hold in place. So if you want to look at it that way, compare the intakes to the factory. Now these factory heads are, I ported these, so these aren't a fair comparison. But this is a 1205 gasket, and it very closely matches the port size on these trick flows. I don't know if I'm going to gasket match the intake on that Chinese ProFlow copy that I'm going to be installing. Probably will, but if you want to compare them to this, because I ported these out. I actually ported these out to 1204. You can see that little bit of difference right there. That's interesting. Also, if you notice the difference from this intake to, say, from here to here, and that's because aftermarket heads are usually use thicker castings and will sit higher. And that's why when you install aftermarket heads, you got to make sure you check your push rod length, because you're almost guaranteed to use a longer push rod. About 100 thousandths longer, I can almost guarantee. So something to consider. One thing I noticed, these have steam holes drilled. Now, I don't need steam holes. Is that a problem? No, I just use the proper gasket for non-steam holes, and it'll just cover it up. It won't cause any problems whatsoever. These also, of course, have bigger valves. And I don't know if you can tell here, but these are 194, these are 202, I believe, and these are 1.5, and these are 1.6 on the exhaust. What do you think? What else can I go over on these? Now, one thing on an aftermarket head, like if I use my tune port intake with the aftermarket AS&M runners, these, because these sit higher, I might have clearance problems with my valve covers on the runners. That's something to consider if you're using a tune port intake. In this case, I'm going to be using that Edelbrock ProFlow copy, I guess you would call it, and all that good stuff. Like I said, it does come with guide plates and rocker arm studs. They seem like real good quality. These are designed for use with 5/16 push rods. And if you decide to use self-center and rocker arms like these, you got to make sure you check your clearance right here. Make sure nothing is contacting the top of this valve or those locks. If you do that, you can't use these guide plates. And if you don't use the guide plates, you need to use these spacers. They're basically hardened washers that are the same thickness as these. And that's because that little lip there, hopefully you guys can see that, and it needs to take up that space when you screw these in. So you either need thick hardened washers to go in there to take up that space. I mean, you could I guess you imagine you could butcher these guide plates up. I would not do that. I would save these guide plates just in case you change rockers, but I would not do that. I don't know if I am going to use these rocker arms or not. I've had these for quite a few miles. They're still in very good shape. These are Scorpion 1.5. I could get the Trick Flow non-aligning ones. If I do that, this like if I do that, it's going to take me a little longer to get the engine back in the car because I got to order the rocker arms, then take a push rod measurement with those rocker arms, and then order the push rods. They will be different length than for these rocker arms. Even if I order the same rocker arms from Scorpion with the non-aligning end, I believe they're non-aligning ones. The little roller on the end here is thicker, so that would change the push rod length. Something to keep in mind. Don't know if I'd order these or I just ordered the Trick Flow ones, because Trick Flow makes them, as far as I can tell, the Trick Flow ones are the exact same ones as the Scorpions. They're probably made by Scorpion. I wouldn't doubt it. Instructions, like I said, are very good. They do list all the parts that you will need, like what head bolts, which intake gasket, which head gaskets to use, and they give you several options, which spark plugs to use. That's something, when it comes to spark plugs, you just basically need the correct pitch and thread, and the correct type of spark plug to screw in there, because depending on your build will depend what heat range spark plug you use and all that stuff. Those are something I'll have to order, but like I said, I'm gonna have to order push rods anyway, so that's no big deal. Can't think of anything else to go over. Hopefully these will work a lot better. I will leave the flow numbers, I don't know, somewhere during this video. I'll leave the chart of the flow numbers. They are significantly more than these. These flowed, I believe, 222. Like I said, I'll leave a link to that video, the flow numbers for these, and all that good info. So I guess that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and it was somehow informative. And I could go out there this afternoon, I guess, and bolt them on, and then do the push rod check tomorrow. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to use this these rocker arms or pop for new ones. That's another $400, $400 plus dollars. Then you got to figure I still got to order push rods. So you're talking well over $125 for them, depending on which ones you get, and all that good stuff. I will let you know in the future. But right now I got all these boxes and stuff I gotta put down in the basement with all the other boxes that I have collected, and those will go in my burn barrel eventually, hopefully. And get my kitchen back to normal, and get this video edited and all that good stuff. And I guess that's it. Hope everybody has a great day, and God bless.